Hi, I'm Micah with Plan Your Federal Retirement, and welcome to this episode in the FERS Federal Fact Check. Today we got a good question about the TSP. In fact, we generally get a lot of questions about the TSP, which is wonderful. And this one comes from a member, and it says, when is it too late to fund the TSP? And his question is, I'm 58 years, he says old, but I'll say 58 years young. My wife and I just became empty nesters, congratulations. And I'm contributing 7% of my pre-tax income for about 15 years, and I just increased it to 10% last week. After thinking about it for a while, I thought I should increase my contribution to at least 15 or 20% of my base pay. The question, is it ever too late to make large contributions to my TSP this close to retirement? Thanks. You know, that's a great question. In short now, I am biased, look at my profession, right? I like people saving money, so it's never too late to save a little bit extra. I like putting that money aside. Now, if you don't have, and one of the reasons I like saving is twofold. Number one, obviously, you're saving for retirement. You're building up your nest egg, whether it's investing in cash or whatever, you're building up that bigger pool of money for the future. Number two, and this happens because you're saving money, but most people don't think about it, you're not spending it. This is what I really like about it, right? One of the things we encourage people within 1 to 2 years of retiring, living on retirement dollars. The best way to do that is to save enough money on the side so that your actual paycheck becomes what it would be in retirement. And then you can really live on retirement before you're retired and see if it works, right? See how that cash flow plays out. Work out any bugs while you still have a nice paycheck coming in before you move to fixed income. So I'm always a fan of saving money. Now the question is, where does it make most sense to save it? The TSP is a fine place to save it. The only thing I would stop and make a pause is saying it's never too late to put that money in the TSP. We can decide later about how it's allocated, right? Maybe you just want to stick it in the G fund because you need that money safe and you need it available in the next couple of years and it shouldn't be invested. Okay, that's a discussion to be had. Another great discussion to be had would be taxes, and that's the primary thing I would look at. Now, if we're putting money in here that we're going to take out in 2 years because we need it for a big expense, how does that affect us tax-wise? We make a TSP contribution, our taxes go down today. What are our taxes going to be when we retire? Are we going to be in the same tax bracket, a higher tax bracket, a lower tax bracket, right? I would want to see what those numbers are and let the math make the decision for you where the best place to save that money. Maybe it's the Roth TSP. Maybe we look at the taxes and you know what, your tax bracket's going to be the same and in fact potentially go higher. And yep, I see that a lot with retirees, believe it or not. I mean, think about it. If you're living on retirement income and that money's coming in, you want that same income in retirement. Why is your taxes going to be lower if you have the same money coming in? So one of the things I would consider is do out a little tax projection for yourself. What tax bracket are you going to be in the future? And then make that decision where to put it. If it ends up being in the TSP, I think the TSP is a fine place. Just again, remember kind of the general investment rule. If you're going to put money in the TSP and invest it, put it to work in the investment funds, then make sure you don't need that money for several years in case when you retire, the market decides to take a nice correction, right? What we like to call it, when it drops 30% or so and gives us a little pucker power. Those things are going to happen quite frequently, especially with the volatility in markets. So it's important to really balance that. Yes, it's good to save money. The next question is, where should it be invested? The next question then is, how should it be invested, or what bucket should it be invested in for tax purposes? I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for submitting it. Again, if you have questions out there, please go below, send us a comment, put it in the post so we can see what those questions are and hopefully be able to answer your question on the FERS Federal Fact Check. Until next time, happy planning.